Ladies and gentlemen, Edwin Sifuna's wave is taking the Luhya Nation by storm. And William Ruto is on high alert. Because we all know that William Ruto's game plan after the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua was simple. William Ruto was banking on the support of the Western Alliance, that is the Luhya Nation and the Luhya Nation. And he had hoped that Raila Odinga was going to help him do this. But as we speak, Edwin Sifuna is taking the Luhya Nation by a storm.
Mimi Cleophas Wahungu Malala, nimesema I'll do anything to ensure that our community is united. Amen. Na ndiposa mimi nimesema mimi nitasimama nyuma ya kijana yetu Edwin Sifuna.
In this video, I want to reveal to you guys why William Ruto is really worried about Sifuna's wave in the Luhya Nation. Before I do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me go straight to the point. Number one, the wave, the Edwin Sifuna wave in the Luhya Nation is likely to sweep William Ruto and his allies. And that's going to cause a lot of problems for him. Because William Ruto was depending on his allies to mobilize. And these people are now moving to Linda Wananchi en masse. The impact would be William Ruto might not even find credible people to run on his ticket. And the casualties are obvious. Musalia Mudavadi is the first casualty. This Edwin Sifuna's wave is going to sweep Mudavadi. The other guy is Moses Masika Wetangula. The Edwin Sifuna's wave is going to sweep Musalia Mudavadi. Those two individuals were critical for William Ruto in 2020, in 2022. Actually, it is alleged that without Weta, probably William Ruto would not have been would not have been the president, because the difference between William Ruto and Raila Odinga were around 200,000. Bungoma delivered. And of course, perceptually, the Ford Kenya is spread across the country. So the wave is going to destroy his allies. Number two, game of numbers. And this is something which I keep on explaining here. And the question which is now running in the minds of most of William Ruto's allies and his team is, where will the president get the numbers? Because let us face the reality. The reality is Mount Kenya is now gone. If William Ruto will manage to get 20% or even 15% from the mountain, he shall have really tried. That alone is having a lot of impact on William Ruto's re-election bid. So the question has always been, where was William Ruto going to get or to compensate for the loss from the mountain? That's why he was banking on Raila to deliver for him the ODM stronghold. As we speak, one of the stronghold of ODM, which is the Luhya Nation, including even those who voted for Ruto, are now leaning more towards Edwin Sifuna. And that is very complex equation which William Ruto will have to deal with. Because for you to become the president, you must at least gather 50% plus one vote. And then you also have to get more than half of the counties. That is, we have how many counties? So you have to get one extra county. So it's going to be very, very difficult for William Ruto in the absence of Rigathi, that is Mount Kenya. So the game of numbers. Number three, the fact that Sifuna is now causing havoc in the Luhya Nation simply means that the demand by the other guys, they cannot place their demands. For example, Weta and Mudavadi can place unreasonable demands which the president might not even be able to meet. Oparanya can put those demands because Edwin Sifuna is going to run for the presidency and the ground is with him. Mudavadi, Weta, Oparanya, all those guys are political players. But their interests cannot be taken care of on the other side. So which means at their level, they might agree that we have to demand for the possession of the running mate. I mean, now they can place those kind of demands to Ruto. Because Ruto now needs those votes. Because I'm sure the president is also not sitting there just observing Western going like that. So these guys will come up with the demands. And what I'm foreseeing is that some of those demands might not be met. Number 4, and this is something which I keep on repeating on this platform. Politics is a perceptual game. The perception people have. As we speak, anybody who has studied Sifuna, he's been deliberate on his approach. Up to today, he has not declared officially that he's going to run. When Atembea announced the rally in Bungoma, he said that they were going to coronate Sifuna. But again, now they are saying they're not going to do that. Why? Because they are still consolidating the entire Luhya Nation. Once they consolidate the entire Luhya Nation, then Rigathi consolidates Mount Kenya. One guy you can also bank on, Kalonzo Musyoka. The only thing which will now remain for them is IBC. So perceptionally, William Ruto is worried. Because politics is what we see from the face value. You can easily just add the votes from Mukambani because Mukambani is locked, the vote from Mount Kenya because Mount Kenya is locked, then the vote from the Luhya Nation. So it's creating a perception that William Ruto is actually going to be defeated. Initially, before Sifuna, the question was, nobody can defeat Ruto. That was the question. Right now, it has changed completely. We are no longer asking who can defeat Ruto. Sifuna has emerged, and people believe he will send William Ruto home. So that perception is worrying the president. And number 5 is the winning formation. If everybody is going to Linda Wananchi, all our tribal politics, because our politics is normally tribal, all the regions are ganging up against the president. Which formula or which formation do you think he can use? Mount Kenya, if he gives Kindiki, there's going to be a problem. And again, if he doesn't give Kindiki, there's a problem. So Simi decided that he's not going to the election with Kindiki, he's going with the Luhya Nation. He can pick Wetangula, he can pick Mudavadi, he can pick Oparanya. Yes, he can pick all those. But there's a problem. Can they deliver the votes? Because in a situation where Sifuna is a presidential candidate and we have all these other guys as running mates, the Luhya Nation will pick Sifuna over them. And that is the biggest problem William Ruto is facing. And lastly, this Edwin Sifuna equation is also disturbing William Ruto in the name of getting 50% plus 1 vote. And that's a problem. What do I mean? You see, in a situation where Matiang'i is running, you will lock Kisii. Kalonzo is running, you will lock the Luhya Nation, the Kamba. Sifuna is running, he has created a national image, but let's assume he's going to lock the Luhya Nation, then someone is also fronted from the mountain, or even if not, they can distribute. So I'm seeing a situation where if Kalonzo is picked by Rigathi to be the United Opposition candidate, then you also pick Sifuna and pair him with someone else, and then we'll have Ruto, and whoever he picks as his running mate. Let's say Kitik. In that case, none of them will get a 50% plus one vote. Not only that, the threat to Ruto is that he might not even be number 2. He might actually be number 3, which means he will not even go for that runoff. I don't know what you think. So for me, I think the move has really dented William Ruto's prospects for 2027. Until next time, Makwiny, bye-bye.